All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to talk about Terence Crawford snapping on a very well-known reporter over information given out around the Errol Spence Jr. fight. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on it, man, because look, man, I don't know what these people expect. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about Terence Crawford's response to, I believe, Dan Rafael's report around the Errol Spence Jr. fight. In a nutshell, Dan Rafael says that the Terence Crawford-Errol Spence Jr. fight is running out of dates, and that he had heard from sources that there was no way that they were going to make the fight in December. So it may look like, I guess from what he was saying, he was implying that the fight might not take place this year. Terence Crawford comes back and says, man, these guys are just trying to sound important and making stuff up, wanting to sound important. And look, I'm telling you, man, on this particular instance, I don't know what Terence Crawford expects. I don't understand and I would say the same thing with Errol Spence Jr., Steven Espinoza, or anybody else out there would expect. But before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to subscribe to the channel and hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, if you are a longtime subscriber, supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your support. There is a new function on YouTube where you can support the channel by hitting the super thanks button. It's a way to support the channel like you guys do in the live streams and the super chats, and the people that are Patreons and channel members. Really does help support the channel, and greatly appreciated for you doing it. Don't have to do it, but if you do it, greatly appreciated. So let's get into this. All right, so again, more reports, more conversations about the Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford fight. And again, with more reports of the Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford fight, come more complaints about reports about the Terence Crawford Errol Spence Jr. fight. And I am having a hard time getting my head around what anybody expects other than that when you literally have the best fight that could be made in boxing, a fight that you have not heard about like this in a very long time. The last time that you've seen two fighters that are right around their prime, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, right, who have proven in the ring that they are the two best welterweights in the division, if you do not include Jaron Ennis, who's coming up as who right now is still, he's beyond a prospect in my opinion. He's at contender status and is a serious threat in that division. But as far as the guys that were there when they got there and all of the fights that have taken place over the last few years, that division is pretty much been cleared out by Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. People can argue about how many fights who Terence Crawford fought or what have you, but undefeated fighter, undisputed at 140, champion at 135. If you don't think this guy can fight and is a top level fighter, man, you guys are just, I don't get it, right? So you have people that are constantly saying, okay, this is what's going on with the fight. This is what I hear was going on with the fight. And you constantly have people coming out saying, look, why do you guys keep talking about it when we're going to tell you about it when it happens? No, man. Here's the thing. People are going to talk about that fight because that's a fight that they want to see. Most of the conversation in boxing is going to be around the big fights. And when you have the biggest fight, that's what people are going to talk about. That's what people are interested in talking about. It's not a complicated thing, right? And it's actually a very good thing to have. I mean, a very good problem to have, and a problem that a lot of people would love to be in. There's a whole lot of fighters that are out there like Demetrius Andrade that really nobody cares. Not a lot of people care who he's about to fight, let alone talk about who they're going to fight on a regular basis. Same thing for Terence Crawford with every fight other than this one. right? Terence Crawford, through maybe his last 5 or 6 fights, all of the conversations around that fight have been, how is this going to lead to the Errol Spence Jr. fight, right? So it's not something that just occurred today. Now, what Dan Rafael had to say, where he says the people that he talked to were saying, look, this deadline is coming, pretty much these dates are getting short, and there's very little chance that fight is going to happen in December. Look, you don't need an inside source to tell you that. If what has actually left the mouths of the people that are involved in the negotiations said are true, right? It is now, as of the date of this video, it is August 26th. Right? So pretty much just to say it's September 1st, right? You've got 4 weeks. You got a 12-week training camp. That's 3 months, right? 3 months, 12. Every month's got 4 weeks in it. 3 times 4 is 12. That's 3 months, right? Plus a week of promotions before the fight. And then probably a week before that, where the fights are done and the fight's announced, right? And then they go on the promotional tour to sell a fight that's this big. So that could add 2 more weeks to it. So now you're not talking about 14 weeks, you're talking about 16 weeks. And 16 weeks pretty much push you into December. In December, you have Christmas. So that's only 3 weeks in December. So even in December, you're going to have other events at the stadium. That is not rocket science to say, hey, this fight may get pushed into 2023. Not saying that the fight isn't going to get made, right? Errol Spence Jr. said he wanted to fight this year. Hopefully it was this year. Terence Crawford said they were trying to make it for this year. Steven Espinoza said they were trying to make the fight for this year. But just common sense tells you that. And on top of it, Dan Rafael, who's the guy he may be talking about, dude, he probably does have sources that are close to that situation. He's been around a long time. Now, as far as people wanting to feel important or not trying to feel important, look, man, I don't understand why people there's a saying, all press is good press. Now, if people are tired about getting pressured about it and being, and having a lot of stuff put on them, that's honestly, it's just kind of on them, right? That's just that's paying the cost to be the boss. If Terence Crawford gets what he wants for the fight and what he deserves for the fight, man, this dude may walk out with $10-15 million and a chance to be, clearly the best, remembered as one of the best fighters to ever do it in the century. I think that is just a little bit of a price, not much of a price to pay to have people, continuing to pub up your fight, right? So I honestly, and I know that Errol Spence Jr. has done a little bit of that as well, where he has said, why are you guys up talking about this fight? I think he was talking about my channel, because I'm pretty much the only guy other than the Boxing Voice that does live streams at 8:00 in the morning, and the only one to do it on that particular day. He was probably talking to me and my subscribers and my supporters saying, oh man, I love the energy for the fight, but what are you guys talking about this at 8:00 in the morning from? The answer to that is, we're hardcore boxing fans, and we talk about boxing all the time. And if this wasn't the big fight, we'd be talking about another big fight. People are not generally going to be running around talking about fights that they're not overly interested in. And it's just a really good problem to have. But hey, man, I feel for them. Hopefully the fight will get made and get made soon. If it doesn't, though, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry a river over it. I just would like to see a fight with either one of these guys before the end of the year. And when that fight gets made, man, the conversation should shift, and probably would shift over to the fight that gets made. But while we're not getting the fights that we want to see out of Canelo Alvarez, not getting, we had some heavyweight fights, and that's kind of played itself out. So that big fight that was there, the Deontay Wilder-Anthony Joshua fight, is really not something that is being talked about right now. That's not there. More than likely, you're not going to, get Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia or Devin Haney or Lomachenko anytime soon, right? the only real big fight that's there that is a realistic chance of getting made is this one. And I think that's the reason why there's a lot of conversation generated for it. And people want to talk about the subject. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? Just, hey, dude, take your lumps. Anyway, it is what it is. That's my take on the matter. And with that, I'm out. Peace.